Hello guys, Let's Play Guy 12 here with my first headcanon, or my first video I mean. Just the beginning part, I'm going to tell you that I am going to read and review fanfictions and some headcanons. Though headcanons would be a bit harder because they're all just canon. I'll try to figure out the legitimacy of them to see if they could actually work. So, let's get started with mine. I'll read this word for word because, you know, I feel like it'd be easier. Right, so after 2 months of thought, I've decided to actually work on this shit. Let's get started. So have you seen in my comment, I'll put a link on the description, I've stated that I thought King Sombra was the true king of the Crystal Empire. Why? Well, let's delve deeper into character of Sombra first. So what do we know about Sombra canon-wise? Well, from what little is given from his crappy description, he's an evil pony who just wants to wreck shit for no apparent reason. You could say he's corrupted or he wanted to have control, but that's never really justified canon-wise. All we know is that he wants the Crystal Empire under his control for no reason other than shit writing. Also, he has a strange fascination for crystals, so that ties in why he wants the Crystal Empire. He also loves crystals. So why not? They're crystal ponies. Them being sentient life forms are just icing on the cake. If he had control of them, he basically had control over living crystals. Also, he was locked away for 1,000 years ago by Celestia and Luna. And hold on a second, isn't Luna supposed to be on the... no, never mind. That's another headcanon. Let's just assume that this is before Luna was banished. Celestia and Luna locked him away underneath the Crystal Empire for 1,000 years. This is important. You'll see. Let's get on to the good stuff. Main headcanon. Sombra was not the original king / he is Cadence' father. Dun dun dun. Well, not yet, actually. Just in my mind. Soon though. You'll see how I see. So let's go over what we know. Sombra has a fascination for crystals, but not just any crystals. Possibly the crystals that grow underneath the Crystal Empire. For the sake of the headcanon, I'll just call them Sombra crystals for now. So what I assume is these crystals, if any pony gets a hold of them, they corrupt the owner with dark powers. This explains the door Twilight found on the secret hole underground. It wasn't Sombra's, it was just the crystal's power attempting to corrupt Twilight as it did with Sombra. Luckily Spike was there to save her. Sombra was just unlucky enough to be corrupted fully by the magic of the crystal. Now to be fair, it might have not been the same in the same way, but just as Discord had different ways of corrupting the main six, the crystal, or another force, might be trying to corrupt in various ways. The reason the power of the only worked underground was because that's where the crystals have the most power. Above ground, they only have so much because they're useless. How does this tie in with Sombra being the father of Cadence? Well, isn't it obvious? Sombra was the original king of the Empire and was, in theory, a good pony before the crystal got to him. When he was corrupted, he enslaved the crystal ponies and made them collect crystals from underneath the kingdom to gain more power, or in this case, serve as master, the Sombra crystals. Here's another thing to think about. Remember how I said the crystal's power is more powerful underground? Well, where did Celestia and Luna banish Sombra to? Right underneath the Empire. Correct. It could be further away, but let's just assume it is underneath. Who's to say Sombra didn't go stronger? That's right. Celestia possibly unwillingly aided in Sombra's return. So what powers could Sombra have gained over 1,000 years? Other than some of the powers he is seen having in the show, why not brain control? Since Cadence is keeping the force field from the Empire alive, he cannot use the direct power in there, but he can play mind games, such as keep the crystal ponies from revealing the information about the Empire and maybe about the Crystal Heart. If he were to succeed, he might have corrupted the crystal's ponies the same way he was. Speaking of the Crystal Heart, we see that it's basically Sombra's kryptonite. Why? Well, the show plays it off as good versus evil, but I see it in a different light. The crystal power has a counterpart. The counterpart is the Crystal Heart, but it simply can't just be a giant heart. Oh no. I'll call them heart shards for the simplicity's sake. I'll bring these up later in the theory, but here's what they can do. I actually didn't remember bringing them back up in the theory, whatever. They are stronger than Sombra's crystals, and with enough bunch together, can ultimately destroy it. So why was Sombra destroyed? Well, my next theory is that in that 1,000 year break, Sombra became unredeemable and has been fully corrupted by it. He might as well be a dark crystal pony. He became a walking Sombra crystal and they couldn't bring him back to his old self even if they tried. He was killed in the blast of the Crystal Heart and cannot be brought back. Not even a clever placage of a horn blasting away. But that's for later. Remember that I didn't pick up either. I'll try and figure this out. So let's move let's move back to the relationship of Sombra and Cadence. Oh boy, here come the fanfics. Go nuts. Anyway, here's another hole. It's understandable that Cadence wouldn't want to talk about Sombra, but why not Luna or Celestia? Surely one of them would want to. Surely one of them would know that he was the original king, but my backup is that Cadence, going back to the whole being ashamed thing, must have been too ashamed to admit that that was the king they locked away. So she made up how Sombra sees power. One last thing before I end this long as Headcanon, and this is about the video, so I will end this. I'm sorry that I forgot to do those whole things with the horn and the heart shard, but you know, I might put those in a part 2 or something. But until then, I would love your feedback. I would love for you to tell me how I'm doing, and I would love for you to tell me. For you to tell me if I should continue this, to read headcanons and fanfics and review them, and I just wanted to share this to show you how much I knew about the fandom before I jump right into one, so you won't be like, you don't know nothing about the fandom, you crazy loony, and I'll be like, okay. So I just wanted to just show it off before I get out the big guns. Also, yeah, I think that's really it. So, until then, my bronies, peace off.